Section 7 of the Hawaii Literacy Tutor Training. In this section, we will give you a brief introduction to the curriculum sets that we use in our sessions. Once you are matched with a learner, a member of program staff will work with you to access and feel comfortable working with your learner at the level designated by their assessment. This is meant to be a brief overview of how the skills scaffold and build on from one level to another in order to give you a high-level overview of how we approach and teach foundational literacy. There are two curriculum sets that we primarily work with in our adult literacy tutoring sessions. The LeBox Series was developed for adults by a missionary many years ago. The series features 4 book sets and explicitly teaches the most basic literacy skills in a predictable, direct instruction format. Each of the 4 book levels features a teacher's manual, a student skill book, which corresponds with the manual, and a workbook for extra home practice. Every level also has additional correlated readers. Most tutors and learners use only the teacher's manual and the student skill book. The teacher's manual of each level gives you a scripted lesson, skills, and activities to work with your learner. The lessons gradually build and are revisited to reinforce concepts and show relationships between skills. The order in which the skills are taught correspond to the most general systems of phonics and reading instruction that any beginning reader would use. The curriculum reinforces skills in ways that even individuals with learning disabilities or other challenges can find accessible. The stories in LeBox are connected and reference one another in a short, predictable form. Once you become comfortable with delivering the lessons, you can adapt and change, skip and reinforce different elements of the lessons as you get to know your learner's style and understand what activities help them to be the most successful. It is also easy to look at the skill of a lesson and search for other activities online to reinforce or expand upon it. We are also happy to do this at your request. I will now briefly discuss the 4 levels of the LeBox series. In LeBox Book 1, you learn the name and sound for each letter in the alphabet. You go over controlled vocabulary containing 132 words, and you learn some word attack and comprehension skills, which will be mastered in subsequent levels. In LeBox 2, you start learning short vowel sounds and consonant digraphs. You learn some simple punctuation, structural analysis, and comprehension, and it is an introduction of spelling and basic sentence writing. In LeBox 3, you learn long vowel sounds. You learn introductory syllabication and recognition of root word endings. You further develop comprehension skills, and you help students relate skills to everyday life in a reason for living section. In LeBox 4, you go over other vowel sounds and consonant spellings. You work on word analysis skills for contractions, common prefixes, suffixes, and compound words. You draw conclusions, talk about cause and effect, opinion versus fact, and you introduce special vowel sounds and other different sounds repeated by the same consonant. I will now briefly go over the Challenger Series books. There are some students, the Challenger Series is the other curriculum set that we use at Hawaii Literacy. This curriculum set features 8 books that we have teachers' manuals and workbooks for the student. There are also writing books for some of the levels that are optional. The Challenger Series is best for readers who have some foundational literacy skills in place, as it is less explicitly designed. The first 3 books revisit and go over the skills from the LeBox series at a faster and higher level, more as a review. The following levels work towards reading fluency, comprehension, advanced vocabulary, and critical thinking skills related to real-world topics. The stories featured are longer than in the LeBox series and contain an array of topics. I will now briefly go over the Challenger Series books by level. So the Challenger Series uses phonics, controlled vocabulary, and sequential skill development while building reading comprehension and writing skills. The books feature word analysis, reading comprehension, controlled vocabulary, writing. In Book 1, students read original fiction and follow a group of adult characters. Each lesson begins with a phonics chart that reviews and reinforces basic decoding skills. In Book 2, students progress to the next reading level by reading nonfiction articles of interest to adults. In Book 3, students continue with original fiction following the characters introduced in Book 1 Again, each lesson begins with a phonics chart and reviews and reinforces basic decoding skills. In Book 4, students continue to build their skills through nonfiction passages, specialized vocabularies introduced. In Challenger's Book 5 through 8, many of the same skills are expanded upon and developed. Fictional passages are drawn from classic literature and includes short stories, myths, and fables in Book 5. In Book 6, students are introduced to longer nonfiction passages as their reading level rises. In Book 7, phonics charts continue to be introduced, and students read classic literature pages to help prepare for pre-high school examination level work. In Book 8, students read fictional passages similar to what they might encounter on a high school subject exam test. Topics go over an array of subjects. There are some students who do not use the curriculum sets, but use study books and aids or other materials related to their goals. If this is the case for your learner, we will help you with this process. We realize the challenges that surface when trying to work with these curriculums online, and therefore we have provided a module about ideas for adapting the curriculum and working online with a learner and other strategies. We are working towards finding an alternative solution for this problem as this video is being created. We have a Google Drive accessible from the website, which features many other resources listed by literacy skills and many other tutoring session ideas and information. Always contact program staff if you need help, ideas, or assistance with your session. This concludes Module 7 of the Hawaii Literacy Tutor Training. Please take the corresponding quiz before moving on to the next level.